Hopefully this video can help someone. So I just wanted to go through my personal story to make sure that anyone who's watching this channel knows who I am, knows what I have experienced, what I haven't experienced, and really where I fit within the conversation of cutting out alcohol. So just to start, to make it exceedingly clear for anyone who's watching these videos, I have never dealt with alcoholism. I've never dealt with substance abuse issues. I cut out alcohol over a year ago from my life because I was just drinking too much socially. And I think that's something that a lot of people deal with. Obviously, there is a percentage of people out there who are alcoholics, deal with, substance abuse issues, and then go to like AA and recovery and going to those types of places. I never felt like I was in that camp. I wasn't dealing with anything that was debilitating. It was just more holding me back in certain aspects of life. And, from drinking in college and letting that kind of spill over to young adulthood, young professional life, that's where I sat. And so in making all of these videos, I do not speak to people who are dealing with those issues. There are other creators out there and other professionals out there who are catering to that audience in terms of their content. My videos are simply, I'm making them to hopefully speak to people who are like myself, especially guys. I think there's a lot of younger women out there on Instagram and YouTube, and other younger women influencers who talk about not drinking. There's quite a few that I follow who I've gotten inspiration from, but I don't really see many younger guys. There's like athletes and other people who have being sober as part of their story, but nobody who's really talking about it in terms of like the ongoing tips and tricks and pros and cons of it. There are some older gentlemen who I've seen, but being somebody in my 20s and those people usually being in their late 30s, 40s, 50s, I still feel like there's some sense of distance that I can't connect with them. And so I'm making videos for this channel to hopefully speak to people out there. And if you're watching this, then, young, probably male, professionals who are doing fine, don't have substance abuse or alcohol issues, but know that their social drinking is holding them back and feel like the social pressure to drink and having drinking being part of, maybe the last decade of your life makes it very hard to jump out of that and quit. And so these videos are designed to give you tips and make you feel like you're not alone on that journey. I do have a community which I talk about in some of my videos, and you'll see linked in my account, that is a totally free community for anyone who wants that accountability. Like I said, I never saw any spaces where I could get like real person-to-person accountability more than, like something like ChatGPT. And the few spaces that I did see were female dominated, which of course is great, but for somebody who wants to feel like you're in it with other people of, like especially if you're a guy, if you want to feel like you're in it with other guys, then I just didn't feel like there was a place out there that offered that. But yeah, I just wanted to make this video to, speak to all of that, make sure that people knew I was not trying to be something that I'm not, in terms of talking from experience that I haven't had. I'm by no means an expert on sobriety. I've only been not drinking for, just over a year. I started not drinking about 18 months ago when I had a period of time without drinking, reintroduced it into my life for a couple months, realized that it was definitely making me feel terrible. And that's when I cut it out officially. And that was like 13 months ago from this point in July 2025. And so definitely not an expert. There's people who have been sober for decades. There's been people who've never drank in their life. But I do think I don't need to be an expert to make videos to, tell people what worked for me, the types of methods that I use to tell my friends how I have thought about it in terms of mindset and the pros and the cons that I've seen, the benefits, the trade-offs. Like, I don't think I need to have a decade of not drinking to be able to speak on that stuff. And if you're somebody who still drinks and you're thinking about cutting out alcohol, or you're just sober curious to see how you'd feel, then my experience is within memory for me, so I know how you feel and I can connect with that, which is why I think it's valuable for me to make these videos. I will only try to share what is true for me, what is true in my experience. I definitely don't want to put a false persona on what I've done or what I've experienced or what, you should or shouldn't do. I definitely don't think anyone should cut out alcohol if they don't want to. I don't think anyone should do anything. Really, it's just if you feel the same way, where you've already been interested in the sober, curious lifestyle, you already kind of are questioning if alcohol is right for you, then I think it's doing yourself a service to give yourself some time without it, to then have an accurate picture of what life looks like with and what life could look like without, and then you can make a decision from there. But it's not for everyone. Some people might not drink and then for a month or 2 months and then decide they want to add it back into their life. Like personally, I found that I couldn't really moderate that well. For me, it was just much easier to cut it out than to continually let myself kind of binge every now and then. And so maybe that's how it is for you and you would get value from this type of lifestyle. Maybe it's not. And if it's not, then, keep on doing you. But I figure that if you're watching this video right now or you're watching some of the other videos on my channel, then you're interested enough to watch a YouTube video about it, then maybe you're considering it because it would have a benefit to you. If this feels like a place that would be good for you in terms of, you also are a young professional looking to cut out alcohol or thinking about cutting out alcohol or just interested in learning more about the pros and cons and good parts and bad parts, then I would ask to subscribe to the channel because I think you will get value out of it. I'm going to try to be posting on here very frequently because I think the more I post, the more other people have a chance of seeing it, and then the more likely that they could get value and help from the content that I'm posting. So I, do intend to post a lot, not as a way to trend hop or, take advantage of a community who traditionally is dealing with a serious issue, but more so because I think the more I post, the more likely people who are in that old lifestyle that I lived are more likely to see it. My name is Jamie. I should have said that at the beginning. But yeah, now that those are kind of facts are all laid out straight, then welcome to the channel, and I hope that these videos can be valuable to you. All right, see you in the next one.